objects we are going to join. So guys, the first thing we have to do is to work on data transform. Data transform is a capability in Salesforce Data Cloud where you can bring multiple data model objects or data lake objects, join them, apply filter criteria, and transform that data into another data model object or a data lake object. The data transform functionality inside Salesforce Data Cloud offers robust capabilities for transforming data, ensuring that the information stored and utilized within the platform is accurate, consistent, and aligned with business needs. Our business requirements to have only selected attributes. There we will use data transform functionality. The data transform processes large volumes of data by using data cloud runtime. With the data cloud runtime, you can read data from multiple data lake objects or data model objects, join multiple sources, filter out records, and write back to a particular DMO or a data lake object. So you can join multiple data models or data lake objects, transform that data, apply filter, select what all attributes you have to keep and what all attributes you have to drop, perform other operations like renaming of attributes, and then once you got the result, you can push that data to a new data model object. So the data transform is a very powerful platform within Salesforce Data Cloud which will help you play with the data, and our management wants us to play with that data. Data transform has plenty of capabilities. Within Salesforce Data Cloud, you can use data transform for data cleansing. You can deduplicate the data, validate data to ensure accuracy and consistency. You can work with data mapping. You can join multiple different data model objects, map the data to a required attribute in the target data model object, build your own schema. You can work with data enrichment. You can have or enhance your existing data with additional informations, create formulas on that, and you can have more enrichment criteria applicable to get the deeper insights. You can aggregate the data. You can use aggregate functions like sum, count, minimum, maximum, summarize and combines data to provide comprehensive views and reports. You can also work with real-time integrations, supports real-time data transformations and seamless integrations through APIs and connectors. So data transform is a functionality in Salesforce Data Cloud, which is very powerful capability with which you can play with your data. And that is what our management wants to do us in this project. Some of the use cases of data transform: you can build customer 360 data model from the existing data models you have. By transforming and consolidating data from multiple touch points, Salesforce Data Cloud enables a comprehensive 360-degree view of the customer. So in our project also, we want a 360 view of a customer for a particular requirement to check what all engagements they are doing. There can be multiple parameters of engagement. For now, we have selected two parameters like opens, clicks, sends, and tasks. That requirement we will work with Salesforce data transform capabilities to create our own customer 360-degree data model. That data you can use in personalized marketing. Definitely, we are building that report so that we have a deeper insight on the engaged contacts and non-engaged contacts. If they are engaged, what kind of emails they are opening, what kinds of products they are opening more, which link they have opened more, what kind of callbacks they are attending, what are the subjects of callback, so that we get deeper insight about that particular engagement performed by a particular customer. It helps us take better decisions. Transform data is used to drive personalized marketing campaigns, ensuring that communications are relevant and targeted. So guys, let's not waste the time and start with our data transform capabilities. To work with data transform capability, we have to go to a section called data transforms. To create a new data transform, we will click on new option and we will work with batch data transform, because we will be working with key DMOs which are uploading data by a batch. But you also have streaming data transforms which works with real time data. But we have data model objects which are uploaded in batch fashion, will work with batch data transform. And then we'll select data model objects. Data lake objects are also there, which can be selected, and data model objects are also there which can be selected. We'll work with data model objects. We'll click on next. Once we have done basic configurations, we get this kind of window. Now inside this, we have to define our input data. Input data means the input data model objects we require. We want a unified object, individual object, we want engagement object, task object. So let's define all these objects within our data transform. Click on add input data, and once you add here, you can define or you can search unified individual object. Once you have searched unified individual object, click on next. So now this object is giving us all the unified individual profiles. Once we have added this unified individual object, we want to join it with unified individual link object. Unified individual link object, because unified individual link object connects unified individual data model with individual data model. So unified link individual object we are gonna define. Click on next. Now here you have to define what is the join criteria. Here you have to define what is the join criteria. So what we will select is a left join. Bring all those unified individuals plus the other data we want to join as well. You can have left join, right join, inner join, outer join. If you know SQL joins, you can understand what I am talking about. Now unified individual and unified link individual should be joined with the specific criteria which you have to define here. So you can select here that unified individual ID of unified individual object is equal to unified individual ID of unified linked individual object. We'll click on apply. Here you see a preview of that data. Okay. Now once we have joined unified individual with unified linked individual, what we are going to do is we are going to join this with another object which is known as individual, because we want to have their email addresses as well. So we have to join link and then individual. Once we have joined this with individual, again left join we want, and here the join criteria can be individual ID from the unified individual link object is related to individual ID of the individual object. Click on apply. Now this will give you unified individual ID. This will give us the individual ID. If you look the attribute requirements for our data cloud report, we want individual ID, we want unified individual ID, we want individual ID. For getting unified individual ID, we joined the unified individual. To get the individual ID, we have joined a link object, and then to get the individual email address, what we have to join is we have to join individual object with contact point email object. These are the data requirements we have. So joining contact point email, doing a left join on the criteria, individual ID from the previous joined data is equal to contact point email ID of contact point email object, and click on apply. So guys, here we will see that preview of data is being generated. Ignore all this error. These are the internal server errors to generate a preview. Okay. After some time, the preview will be generated. But currently, due to huge data, the data cloud is unable to generate a preview. So you will see that inside this data model object, within the data transform, we are getting data from all the data sources we have joined. For example, we have got individual ID, then unified individual ID as per our reporting requirement, individual ID, and then we will have email address as well somewhere. Now guys, once we have joined all this, what next we have to join is, we have to join the email engagement object. Click on join option here and click on email engagement data model object, which contains all the open clicks, every data about the engagement of a customer. Perform a left join. It is taking bit time. Let's cancel and do it again. Let's wait for this to be resolved. Until and unless it don't generate the preview of columns, it won't allow us to join. So the data is being processed in the backend. Let's wait for some more time. Here we have refresh preview option. If preview is not generating, then you can refresh the preview and again try to join. So now preview is generated. Once we have refreshed that preview is generated. We'll work with left join, and left join from the previous join data. We will select individual ID, and in the email engagement we have individual ID. I am already knowing the relationships between all these data model objects, but if you don't know, don't hesitate to go on Data Explorer and validate how two objects can be linked. It's a simple SQL which we can perform. So now what we have done, here we have joined email engagement with all these data. And last thing what we have to join is the task object. Last thing we have to join is the task object for getting task related callbacks. Left join. Here we have individual ID, and here we have name ID as a relationship. So now guys, what we have done is we have joined all those data or you can say data model objects, on which we have to build a data model object, which is a customer 360 data model object, which will help us build a report. But guys, if you have checked the preview, it is giving us a lot of different attributes. We don't want all these attributes at all. We don't want